enduring fire from the depths of hell, summoning massive stones of ice, and striking with lightning from the heavens. The Black Mage is your iconic offensive spellcaster able to deliver punishing ranged damage. In addition to command over the 3 basic elements, Black Mages have access to unique and powerful spells, but be prepared to grind out a lot of job points to master them. These diminutive wizards are also your typical glass cannon, able to dish out a large amount of damage, but unable to take much in return. In order to maximize your Black Mage's value, it is imperative you keep them in the back ranks while they charge up their devastating attacks. Hi, I'm Mikey from Tactics Live Tournament, and today I have another episode in the Job Focus series. The goal of these videos is to crack open the hood on each class, present technical information in a simplified way, and help you make better choices when raising your squad. In today's Job Focus, we're going to do a deep dive into the Black Mage class, looking at their equipment choices, how their abilities work, and touch on how to manage their stats. Maybe you're working your way through the single player story and have just unlocked this job, eager to discover their secrets. Or you need an all-out magical juggernaut for your multiplayer roster to keep enemies at bay with long-range firepower. Well, open up your spellbooks, put on your lucky wizard's hat, because we're getting into a Black Mage Job Focus session. Black Mages are strictly offensive ranged casters. Even their reaction ability is offensive in nature, and this means they are extra squishy, and great care should be taken to keep them safe. Black Magics are very straightforward, consisting of 4 spells with increasing levels of power, times 3 elements, and some auxiliary spells thrown in for good measure. And like every other caster we have covered, our spell's potency is dependent on not just your Black Mage's faith, but your target's faith as well. To unlock the Black Mage, you will need a level 2 Chemist. Luckily, this great moment comes early for you, as introducing Black Magics into your roster adds a powerful dimension to your unit's capabilities. And for good reason, as it will take a long time to master this job. Let's focus now on getting your Black Mage geared up so they can lay waste to your opponents. For weapons, we are limited to rods. Rods have the same damage formula as swords, your PA multiplied by the rod's weapon power. Rods are striking weapons, so can only attack 2 height up, but 3 height down. Rods do come with elemental boosts, which can be used to bolster your spells by that element by 25%, as well as casting the level 1 version of that element by about the same amount when used in melee. Rod of Faith is probably your best option, as this will greatly enhance all of your spells regardless of element. Second to this, Crown Scepter is amazing with plus 4 MA, followed by Stardust Rod with plus 3 MA and a spell effective Gravity. Then lastly, the old standby Wizard's Rod with plus 2 MA works well and is readily available. Now we turn to hats to give us some much needed MP and MA where possible. Best suggestion I have is Brass Coronet, followed by Gold Hairpin. Both of these offer immunity to silence, which is a killer for this job. If you're okay without the MP boost, definitely consider hair adornments like Ribbon for your female Black Mages to protect them from a variety of debuffs. Moving on to our bodies, we should go with robes over clothes for MP and MA boosts. I'm inclined towards the Lordly robe for the innate protectant shell and generous HP and MP gains, but Wizard's robe for the plus 2 MA will suit just fine and is available very early in the game. To accessorize our Black Mage, my initial recommendation goes to Sage's Ring for its awesome boosting and absorption properties. Next, you should seek out anything boosting MA, so the classic Mage Power gloves fit the bill well here. If you want some extra mobility, instead of offensive-oriented items, you can go with Gaia's Calige. Our Black Mage is fitted for battle with gear that will enhance their abilities. Now let's take a closer look at those to see what kind of damage we can expect. Black Mage abilities are affected by faith in their calculations, whether it's for damage output or success rate. Let's start with our damaging spells from the 3 main elements, all of which share the same formula. We take the faith calculation and multiply by your MA, then by the individual power factor for each spell. With each increase in power level comes higher MP cost, an extra height in range, and with a level 4 spell, an extra tile in horizontal range, and your caster is immune to the effects. For Flare, the formula is the same as the elemental magics, but with a power factor of 46. Note that Flare is a neutral, non-elemental attack, so fire boosts will have no effect on this spell. For the success rates of Poison, Toad, and Death, use the Faith calculation, but instead multiply by the result of your MA plus the individual factor for each spell, listed below. You should learn each of these spells when you can, starting with each of the level 1 spells at a laughable 50 job points each. I would then recommend getting the level 2 spells before going for Poison. From here, keep working your way through the Black Magic skill set as job points become available. Saving up for Flare early on isn't a bad idea, but make sure you have adequate MP to cast it, and ensure you can refill your reserves so you can continue the devastation for the duration of the battle. For reaction abilities, we are left with only Counter Magic, which will cast the same spell back at the caster when you are hit by magic. Interestingly, this also works with allied magics, so using healing or support magics on your Black Mage, equipped with Counter Magic, will also heal or buff your ally. Our last Black Mage ability to cover today is their support skill, Arcane Strength. This increases your magic damage and success rates by 33% for the spells that allow it. Not only is this useful for your wizard, but a variety of other jobs too, like geomancers and samurai. You'll want to grab this at the minimum from the Black Mage skills, even if you don't plan on leveling a Black Mage for the long haul. It's time to check out the stats on the Black Mage and see where all this destructive power comes from. Looking at their 3 move and 3 jump, with little in the way of class evasion at 5%, this is certainly not the area where this job shines. Moving on to class stats, we get a pretty rough hit of 75 to our HP, a great 120 boost to our MP, an awful 60 to our PA, which we can live with, and a ridiculous 150 to our MA, and a standard 100 to our speed. Clearly, our MA stat is the reason we want to have a Black Mage as our main job, as 150% boost to your MA is above and beyond any other job. For growth stats, we are looking at average HP growth, while we can enjoy awesome MP growth, second best in the game. Our PA growth is bad, while our MA and speed are standard. While we aren't looking at impressive growth stats to warrant keeping your units as Black Mages, it looks like we don't have a choice since it takes so many job points to learn their skills. Small in stature, this little sleeper can turn the tide of battle with devastating effect if left to their own devices and kept safe from the front lines of battle. Truly focused on offensive firepower comes with some drawbacks, but with the right builds and strategies, Black Mages are effective casters that will give your opponents pause. Black Mages should focus on equipping themselves with offensive MA boosting robes and hats, looking for MP boosts where possible. Spells are expensive to cast, so make sure you can refill your reserves. Adding an elemental boost increases the power of that element by 25%. Using Arcane Strength increases power of your spell by 33%. Use these in combination for extra damage, especially if plus MA equipment is unavailable. Learn Black Magic abilities as they become available. There is more of a benefit to have a variety of elemental spells in your repertoire than to go all in on just one type. Black Mages have the highest MA class stat in the game. Keep this in mind when picking your secondary ability set, and if its skills can benefit from a naturally high MA stat, like Yido and Geomancy, or other faith-based skills like Mystic Arts or White Magics. Flare is an amazing long-range, non-elemental attack that is great for closing out fights and finishing bosses. Just be aware of the super high MP cost, and get ready to grind for its 1,000 job point cost. This concludes this episode of the Job Focus series with the Black Mage. And this finishes our focus on casters in general. By now, you should have all the knowledge necessary to bring your faith-based casters to battle and use them most effectively. Be sure to check out other episodes in the Job Focus series in case you missed any. As we approach 1,000 subscribers before the new year, it's more important than ever to help bring this channel to a wider audience. You can help by simply pressing the like button and subscribing to the channel if you haven't yet. I know it seems like the standard to say this on every YouTube video, but I want to let you know that I genuinely appreciate these small gestures. I would not have continued on if it weren't for all of your encouragement and support. So a big personal thank you to all of you for the motivation to continue my content creation. Also, I highly recommend joining the Tactics League Discord if you're interested in joining the War of the Lions multiplayer community. We are balancing a PvP patch that aims to standardize all the jobs and equipment to make a truly competitive environment where there are no bad picks for your roster. Come join us and help shape the future of competitive tactics PvP. This is Mikey from Tactics Live Tournament signing off. I will see you in the next video. And until then, be well everyone.